I would define my journey in beauty as strength. I think embracing diversity and inclusion within our community is important. I think back to when I was young. I mean, at that time, I thought I was the only one and I didn't have a community. So to be able to open up this discussion within our own community and have people around us to broaden the conversation is extremely important, and it's truly making a difference. It's making a difference for the older generation of Cleft warriors, and a significant difference in the younger generation, especially with social media and how beauty can affect the self-esteem of our younger generation. Just speaking and talking about it within our peers, within our families, between our friends, whether it's having a cleft or having any other facial indifference, it's critically important that we open up and we talk about it. That, for me personally, was what I was lacking as a young girl. I only wish I had those discussions and that open communication at that time. I think it would have made a huge impact on how I grew up and how my self-esteem was growing up. So just, if I could say anything, just keeping that open communication and talking about it is the most important thing we could do. If I go back many, many years ago and I think about self-acceptance, I think about the journey of becoming who I am today. I had to embrace who I was, what the mirror was showing me, and fully comprehending that I'm growing up and this is the way I'm going to look, and this is what God has given me and handed me. And I would say probably it wasn't until my teen years, my late teen years, where I started to really embrace that self-acceptance, and doing that on my own, really. I didn't have a community like Smile Train at that time. This community is absolutely extraordinary, and allowing other Clefties to hear the stories of others and how they found their strengths and how they found a way to accept themselves the way that they are. And that can be extremely difficult in this day and age. But I think us coming together as this type of event and having everybody embrace themselves in this community is just absolutely extraordinary. So if I had to think back at the time in my life where I significantly had to embrace a challenge, this is back in Canada. I was probably 7 years old, walking onto the playground at school, and Jonathan, I remember his name, came up to me and he asked me, "What's wrong with your face?" And no one had ever said that to me before. So I didn't, you're taken back. What do you mean, what's wrong with my face? And I took that comment and ultimately changed what I wanted to do with my life as I got older. I remember all the things. I wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to be many things. But I ended up growing up and getting into the beauty industry. So I ended up becoming an esthetician and wanting to specifically make other women feel beautiful every single day, because I knew that was a part of me that was missing in my younger years. A lot of people may say to me, "Oh, Pam, I couldn't even tell. I didn't know you had a cleft." I appreciate the sentiments. I certainly still look in the mirror and I see little Pammy. I have been very fortunate to have some surgeries over the years. I was born with a unilateral cleft lip. And I used the industry that I went in to actually work on myself for many years and do a lot of procedures on myself. in various hospital settings that I was working in. You can change the outer look, but it's what is inside that needs to be touched on as well. And I work on that still at 45 years old. I mean, it's hard to not say that we don't care about what other people say or not to worry about other people's words. But if you truly practice saying the things that we want to hear to ourselves, because our brains will believe what we tell it. So if we're always telling ourselves the negative and allowing those negative thoughts to affect us, that's how our day will go and that's how we'll move forward. How to shift that is always talking to yourself in a positive way, believing in yourself, giving yourself the opportunity to be the best version of you. You will find your confidence. You will love yourself. And that's the best advice I can give. I've lived my life just getting up every day and trying the hardest that I can, being the best version of myself, loving myself, and staying positive. There's a quote by Maya Angelou, and it says, "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide if you will be reduced by them and not to be reduced by them." And I take that to heart, because I could take all the negativity or I could take all the low self-esteem that I grew up with and continue to live that way throughout my life. I choose not to do that. I choose to stay positive and embrace exactly who I am and who I've become. And I live every day knowing that I'm capable of anything I put my mind to. And I hope if you walk away from this conference with anything, is that you are so special and you have your own unique gifts, and you need to take that and do something extraordinary in this world. So there's a little tip that you can do after you do your makeup, your foundation, just sort of glide a little bit of shimmer, and that helps to sort of reflect the light. So there's my little tip.